For the past few winters I've always done a cold start video of my Massey 35, and it's Christmas Eve now. It's not particularly cold, it's kind of mild enough, but we'll see if it'll start now. It hasn't been going in about, I suppose, 2 weeks now at this stage. It normally would start pretty well on a mild kind of a day like this, but the battery is just about on its last legs. I'm after charging it up there charging it overnight, so hopefully it'll have just about enough charge to start it once anyway. I want to reverse it into my garage because I have a little bit of work that needs to be done on it, and I have a new battery to put into it as well. Now, most Massey 35s are fitted with a manifold heater up here, which basically is works off the battery. The battery makes an electric element go red hot, and this pipe that's coming down here feeds diesel down into it, and the diesel ignites, which creates a flame inside in this air intake manifold. When you turn the engine over, then the flame is sucked into the engine, which aids cold starting. But as you can see, I have mine disconnected. It's very hard on the battery. That's the wire that's supposed to go into it. It's very hard on the battery to heat it, and I often find it doesn't really work out that well. So what I normally do for a cold start is I just open off this bung here that's in the side of the manifold, and I stick a small butane blow lamp into this hole here. So when I turn the engine over now, it'll suck in the flame from the butane blow lamp, and obviously butane is going to burn a lot hotter than the diesel will, so hopefully it'll allow it to start. Well, it started up very quickly anyway, probably because it's such a mild day. But on a frosty morning or anything, the battery is way down. So, as I said, I have a new battery for it. I also want to put a new water pump onto it because it's starting to leak now, and the bearing is not great in it, and it needs a full service as well. My one is a Massey 35X. So I think it's 47.5 horsepower, if I remember correctly. It has a Perkins AD 3.152 3-cylinder indirect injection diesel engine in it. I have modified the tractor in a few ways. I have a cab off a Massey Ferguson 240 onto it because I use this tractor. It's not just a vintage showpiece or anything. I do use it pretty regularly actually. I also fitted an alternator onto it, which charges the battery a bit better. I think that's off a Daewoo Lanos or something like that. I bought this tractor when I was 13 years old for the equivalent of €500. It had a broken crankshaft in it when I bought it. I knew that before I bought it. And I got a new crankshaft for it and did a little bit of work on it and fixed it up. And a few years later then, we took it apart again and rebuilt the engine in it completely. It's still fairly basic inside. I put a nicer seat onto it. It's a little bit ripped now at this stage, but put a new hour meter into it as well. It's all original inside. Even that steering wheel, that's seen many thousands of hours of use. It's worn away to the steel rim really. I originally rebuilt just the bottom half of the engine. I left the pistons and liners alone and the original head, but after a couple of years what had happened, I think 3 times, it had blown the head gasket in between two of the cylinders, and there was actually a minute crack inside in the head. So I got a brand new head, got it completely rebuilt, so top and bottom end rebuilt completely, and Cost over €1,000 at the time, but it was a worthwhile job. It runs absolutely perfect now, and provided you have a good battery in it, it always starts perfectly as well. So as with a lot of old tractors, when I bought this I didn't actually get any documentation with it, which is unfortunate because it did have an original Irish registration on it. But at the time, when I was younger, I didn't really appreciate that kind of stuff as much, so I didn't really bother putting too much effort into looking for the original reg, and I just got it re-registered. So that's why I have the 63KE 505 reg on it. That's a standard issue for the time. Of course, if you re-register something now, you get a massive big long number, but that's what I got.